Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. We are back again for a second stream today, but the day is still February 5th, 2026. Let's go. We had ourselves a Nintendo Direct partner showcase this morning. Earlier today, shortly after the Direct, we had a stream. It was fun. It was a little bit earlier than normal. 49 minutes is kind of how long we went for. So it was a fun conversation, but now we are kind of streaming at our regularly scheduled time. I hope you're all doing well. Maybe you're back for more, or perhaps this is the first stream of the day for you. But let's go either way, because this morning we spent a lot of time talking about the Nintendo Switch the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. We didn't talk too much about the other things that we had, like, well, Famitsu sales today. What's up with Charles Martinet? How about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? So right now, we can talk more about the Direct Partner Showcase, especially since not all of you might have been for this morning's stream. But I definitely want to start talking about some of the other things. But as always, let me get the pop-out chat rocking to see who's here this fine morning. Still morning for me, at least. And let's begin. Hang on a second. Come on now.
Grip, stability, precision.
Okay, pause that. Now we're good. Let's see, we got Yvonne Francois in here. Hi, Tabby Cat Games, no Bayonetta, not today, and not at the partner showcase. Both double no. Majin Poo. Hi, Paul. I'm sad about no news on Legend of Starfy. Legend of Starfy might pop up sooner or later. There's hope. There's hope. Steak 1024 back in the house. Hey there. Joycey J69. Joycey J69, and we're back. That's right. Tigerusus. Hey. Crazy Scott. What's up? The cool guy. 04. Hello. Hello, everyone. We got to 16 very quickly. I guess that's because it is our normal time. We'll see if we get numbers comparable to the last couple of days. Jeez, what a hyped week. Yesterday, we had our biggest stream ever in terms of the support. It was amazing. The day before, I think we had the biggest stream ever when it comes to sheer volume of people here at once. It's good. It's good. It's good to see you all here. In some fun news, I'll just share it now. I might say it again later on, but I don't want to harp on it too much because I don't want anybody to feel like they can't afford, they can't be here. No, you don't have to you don't have to afford anything to be here. You could be here for nothing. You're all welcome to just be a part of this community and talk. But like I said, I will say we are 26 members away from the channel having the ability to put out new emoji. Emoji are tied to a certain amount of members, and I would like to put up a new emoji because that's cool. We already have quite a bit though, but if you've ever considered, yeah, I wouldn't mind joining the channel, today's a good day because we might hit the ability to drop a new emoji. So, no pressure though. But thank you if you do. And if not, like I said, dude, just have a good time. And let's go over video games. But first, let me welcome some more folks in here. Steak, interested to see those Famitsu numbers for Final Fantasy VII. Roger Enyart, welcome back. Welcome back indeed. The Great Waz here. Hey, Paul, Gale, Network, and chat. Crazy Scott, dropping some of those fine emoji that I was just referring to, you know? I don't know how many we have, but we're capped out. And they're giving me one more spot. So I'm like, huh. You know what emoji is going to be the next one? Wolverine. I like the Wolverine one, and it could be there. Now, I could always take one out. I feel like the Johnny Knoxville one, maybe it's a little bit too small to see the image. So if I had to take one out, maybe it would be the Johnny Knoxville one. But I also like it because the short that it was tied to was really fun. So I kind of don't want to take it out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. 23, Crazy Scott says. 23. So with 26 more members, we will have 24, correct? We'll have 24. That might happen. That might happen. Let's see. Welcome some more people in here, though. And then we'll go into the Famitsu sales. Let's just start there. Sometimes we take a long time before we even get to the Famitsu sales. But I feel like this morning's stream was sort of a good opener. Holy cow! Dude, wow. Dude, Ash out of nowhere. Didn't give me a time to like fully greet. I mean, I was greeting everyone, but holy smokes, Ash. Big thank you. Man, that is a major dono. 20. Starting us off big. What? 2 minutes into the stream or something like that? Man, thank you so much for that awesome $20 gifted membership total, bringing us to 361. That means we're 6 away from getting a new emoji for the channel. I've gotta choose between Wolverine and Old Man Logan. I'm leaning towards Wolverine because of the facial hair. It was kind of fun. But the Logan one was pretty cool too because I grayed up my hair and all that stuff. We'll see. I don't know. But dang, Ash Gaming 17 with 20 gifted memberships. Your name is on the board. Thank you so much, Ash. Let me read these before I get too far behind, because if today's like yesterday at all, I'm going to get behind very quickly in the stream. So while I've got a full breath, let's go. Corny Puddle, Rodimus, Deity Contra, Dane Gonzalez, Asintial, Real Brony Pony Productions, Antonio Can, Damian Drummy, Louisiana, there we go. Santiago Rodriguez, Will Max, GM the Man, the JSS 142, Linko 69, the KG, Bradley Taylor, Barkster, Out of My Gaming Mind, Potato Man, and Caleb Bro X Y Tube. Wolverine, where's the pink suit? No pink suit yet. But maybe Princess Peach down the road. Maybe. Deity Contra, yo! Speaking of someone who just got a membership. These membership drops, y'all don't know how valuable it is. Or maybe you do. I mean, I've said it before, but like, I'm really appreciative. I am grateful for this community. Thank you so much for your generosity. It really helps out financially. It helps boost the channel. And it does cool things like, you know, Deity Contra wasn't here 3 minutes ago. Deity Contra, I'm guessing, got an email. Hey, you've been gifted a membership. Bam, popped on, and here you are. Let me get back to some chat. Oh, got to go clean out the truck so insurance can... Oh, okay, I don't know if that's can take something. Okay, talking amongst each other. I guess so. It's hard to beat everything in context. Majin Poo, will you be picking up Pragmata? I plan on it. That I'm getting sold more and more, you know. When I saw it, it looked neat. I'm a big fan of Capcom, so I'm already kind of inclined to wanting to check it out because I just like Capcom. I like supporting them. Of course, the game has to be cool, but the game also looked cool. I'll find out it's going to have an amiibo. That's kind of cool. Learning a little bit more about the game. All right, I'm liking the style. Seeing the previews come out. Got a good friend in Rogers Base who went hands on, who said it took a few minutes to understand the gameplay control, and then it was like, dude, this is fun and engaging. And I'm like, I'm more and more sold on it. And now we're getting a demo. I don't know if the demo is up live now, but it's today. Now, the demo, I guess, did exist a few weeks ago on Steam. I remember that, but I didn't download it then. But I am definitely going to try it today on Nintendo Switch too. So I'm thinking probably with Pragmata. Dang, I can't believe it. So cool. Ash, thank you so much. Excellent, excellent. Potato Man is an awesome name. Potato Man. Yeah. Is it true that Indie is full physical on Switch and not keycard? I don't think it's... I don't want to give you the wrong information, but I don't think it's cartridge. No. It is. Yeah. It is. It is. It is. It is. And I said that in a weird way because I literally liked the post earlier, confirming it, and I guess I forgot. It slipped my mind. So when you said it, is it true that it's not on game key card? I was like, I don't want to give you the wrong information. I think it is key card, but no, I literally liked it on X earlier, and yes, the game is on game card. So, even when I know information, I could be surprised in the moment, relearning it because I forgot just a couple of hours ago or whatever it was, So yeah, dude, Indiana Jones is a legit full-on cartridge release. Unless if the game is drastically cheaper digitally, I'm all about that physical cartridge, Target was the only store that had Dragon Quest VII Reimagined physical. Ordered it and we'll pick it up after work. Very cool. Indiana Jones fully on a cart. Yeah. I'm actually pleased about it. Yeah. JM Powers, what's up, Paul and everyone else? What did you think of the Direct this morning? I downloaded the Pragmata demo. You can't save, which stinks, but I don't think the demo is very long. That's crazy. So happy. 57 gigs. Yeah. That's beefy. But that fits in the Nintendo 64 gigabyte cartridge space. Right on. Definitely getting Indie on Switch 2. Back all. Yes. You know what? I put up a poll this morning during my live stream of the event, but I need a poll now for everyone here. Let's see. Making this poll for everybody. Whoa! Pokemon Fan 34. Pokemon Fan 34 saying, I want to be the very best. Doom, doom, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. Doom, doom, doom. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Doom, 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 doom. These Pokemon to understand the power that's inside Pokemon. With the 10 gifted memberships. Man, singing that song gave me goosebumps. There are certain songs that even if I'm not hearing them, if I'm singing them to the best of my non-professional singing ability, could still give me goosebumps because they're just legit songs. Thank you so much, Pokemon fan, for the 10 gifted memberships. That means we get that Wolverine emoji. Woo! Meanwhile, 8 to 10, 6 to 7.9, 4 to 5.9, 1 to 3.9 are going to be the options on the poll. Big thank you, Pokemon fan. Looking good, too, because this is just after Ash, but not too far after Ash, that there's this green bar at the top. That is awesome. Let's see. Let's get the number. Yvonne Francois says, hi, Pokemon Fan 34. Okay, and then we're down below. The Hutch 2000, Jordan Andrews, Sean Mayhew, Tech House Vids, Robbie Rains, Lee J, Lou J, Super, John Tai Wo, Christian Mundell. We got 10 in there. Okay, Nala Cat saying, let's go! The Great Wah saying, Pokemon fan, very cool. Big time, Timmy Jim, 2104. I'll also get Elliot, even though it's a game key card. I want to play that portably. Yeah, that's going to be a cool game. I played the demo. It was awesome. It was fun. And the May 12th release, 2 days after my birthday. That's cool, Crazy Scott. That's going to be a cool birthday. I don't do a lot of pre-orders these days, but I will for that one. Memberships for the emoji. Yes, Pokemon fan. We're getting it. Awesome. Thank you. I wonder if I could do it today or if I have to wait till tomorrow. Hopefully I could do it today. I'm actually kind of ticked at the other games, but that were just showed today. Code in the Box. I mean, Code in the Box. Code in the Box. I have one Code in the Box game. That is WWE 2K25 because it was on sale for like $10 or $15 at Walmart. And it was $70 a couple of months ago. And then right around Black Friday, it was like $10, $15. Dude, I had to get it. And I knew Code in the Box, but still. It's a digital code. I have a cartridge sleeve, box in my shelf, so it's all good. The theme song is one of the best ones ever created. Yeah, it's awesome. W for Pokemon Fan 34. Don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, JM Powers 83. I was here watching the show on YouTube before coming on. That's good timing. That's the funny part. That is true. Graceful Requiem. Hello, Paul. Just saw the Nintendo Direct. Very good stuff. Excited for what's coming. Yeah, I agree. There's some good stuff. If I didn't say hello to Nalakat, hello. Oh, JM Powers excited for Indiana Jones. Yes. Okay, I think we're caught up. Hope so. Because I do want to get into the sales talk. By the way, 29 watching, 20 likes. Great start. Well, let me look at the poll real quick. How is that doing before we go into the Famitsu sales? What do you give today's Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase? 45% of you so far are saying 8 to 10. Good. That means you liked it quite a bit. 2 loved it, somewhere in that range. 6 to 7.9, 22%. All right. You thought it was decently enough above average too. Quite good. Really good. Something there. 4 to 5.9, 13% of you said that. Meaning, kind of below mediocre to, it was a fair. It was okay. It's above average, but not quite good. And then 1 to 3.9 just said, man, that thing stunk. Because anything below 4 is like bad. 4 is not horrible. 4 is sub-average, below mediocre. Not so good, but not necessarily bad, right? You get into that 1 to 3 area, you're looking at awful. stuff. Let's see. Real Brony. Do you think we'll get a general direct next week? I think soon. And do you think Nate the Hate will confirm it soon? Depends on if he knows stuff and if he wants to go out on a limb or wants to divulge that. We'll see. Tokyo Scramble looks interesting. Seems to be a Switch exclusive. The Nintendo Direct was a scam. Ash. Because this one was a partner, we will get our Splatoon Raiders. It will happen. I just cannot see there being no Splatoon Raiders update between mid-February and April 30th. Why? Because I'm pretty darn confident that there will be another mainline Nintendo Direct between mid-February and April 30th. Just based off of historical likelihood, you know? And if there's going to be a Direct in the next couple of months, surely Splatoon Raiders is going to be there. Yeah. I'm on Team 2026 still for that game. You know? CBH is here. Adventures of Elliot reminds you of Link to the Past. Like a remix. Give us a teaser for Mario Kart World DLC. You know Ash Gaming 17. Mario Kart World DLC, I think, could be saved for a June Nintendo Direct. Like, 1 year anniversary Nintendo Direct. And in it, basically also the 1 year anniversary of Mario Kart World. Here's the game's first DLC. You know? Let people have a whole year with it. Fine-tune the experience. Let more people hop on in and buy more copies. Because don't forget, for every new person, it's a totally new game. And hundreds of thousands of people are getting new access to it. So for some people, it is a 7-month-old experience. They might be ready for new. But for many others, it's only a 6-month-old experience. A 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. Bum, 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 bum. So I'd say give it 1 year. I could be wrong. Nintendo might drop something newer, something new on it sooner or later, but I don't see it like instantly. But I do say capitalize on the Super Mario Galaxy movie by having stuff throughout the year, Mario related, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, so on and so forth. Let me see this. Okay, some of you are also saying Splatoon Raiders 2026. Okay. All right. Let's get into the Famitsu sales. I said we're not going to spend too much time not getting into it. Now, let us get into it. Okie dokie. Here are the top 10 best-selling games of the week in Japan for the last week, going from January 26th through February 1st. Okay? Physical only. In the first place spot. Number 1, Code Vein 2 for PS5. 14,452 copies. In second place, Mario Kart World, Nintendo Switch 2, 12,445 copies. Only 7 away. That's kind of funny. Close. In third, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, for Nintendo Switch 2, of course, with 9,941 copies. In fourth, Animal Crossing New Horizons for Nintendo Switch at 9,042. If you combine those two together, by the way, 18,000. Wow. That would be number 1. In fifth, Pokemon Legends ZA on Nintendo Switch, 6,744. In sixth, Momotaro Dentetsu 2 for Nintendo Switch 2, 6,203. In seventh, Pokemon Legends ZA Nintendo Switch 2 edition, 5,875. You're looking at over 12,000 when you combine the two, which is nice. In eighth, Kirby Air Riders for Nintendo Switch 2, doing 5,324 copies. In ninth, Bum 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 ba dun 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 dun. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. I'm loving it still. 5,289 copies sold. Physical only. That's a 77% drop. Yeah, par for the course for an RPG. But I'm happy that it charted. That means we're probably looking at a good, 8,000 or so for the week. Keep in mind, this is not a new game. This has been out for almost 6 years from the PS4 original release in Japan, and almost 5 years on the PlayStation 5. So, a lot of people who have wanted to pick it up had a lot of time. That's why I made this bold prediction, or not even a prediction, just, an analytical statement saying, I think that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will open up higher in Japan on these very charts than Remake did, because there's a smaller amount of time that took place between when Rebirth came out on PS5 to now than when Remake came out on PS4 with the PS5 version in between to now. Also, not as many people own Rebirth because it only came out on PS5, whereas Remake has been out on 5 and 4, in which PS4 overall has a bigger audience. Nintendo Switch 2, though, it's on fire. And I think Rebirth will do better in Japan in the opening frame. How will the whole series do in totality? Time will tell. But it was a nice showing of it this morning, and gotta say, looked really good. Okay, in 10th place, you have the Nintendo Switch version of Momotaro Densetsu 2 that did 5,243. And when you combine that with the other one, you're looking at like 11,400. Certainly not bad. Overall, 6 pieces of software in the top 10 were for Nintendo Switch 2, 3 were for Nintendo Switch, and 1 was for PlayStation 5. Let me read some of the chat, and then we'll get into hardware. Scrolling up. We talked about Ash Gaming 17 and the desire for Mario Kart World DLC, and I think we're going to get it, Ash. We talked about... Okay. Splatoon Raiders. Curiosity, yes. I've been wearing ACNH out on the Switch 2 recently. Started a completely new island and the gameplay is smooth. That's cool. People have to realize that Nintendo wants to have third-party support. Absolutely correct. Good day, sir, says published too. Good day. FF is a big IP. Yup. The real Brony Pony Productions. What if the post-credits scene of Galaxy shows EGAD and he's creating Flood, the Poltergust, and the paintbrush, and he turns Flood on and it says, "Greetings, I am the flash liquidizing ultra dosing device." Teasing the Sunshine movie. It's a fun idea. Sunshine had some really good music. I don't know if they would name a whole movie Sunshine, but visit Isle Delfino, possibly? Who knows? Who knows? Did you order any of the... Okay, talking to each other. Indiana Jones and the Order of Giants DLC is 20. All right. That's cool. The fact that we are getting it on Switch 2 is a good port. Yes, yes, yes. Do you think YouTube is coming out for Switch 2? Gina, baby. Kind of funny. There are no social media apps yet for Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch had Crunchyroll, Hulu, YouTube. It had the Pokemon Channel. Did it have Funimation? It had a few. Never got Disney Plus. Netflix, HBO Max, Amazon Prime. Could Nintendo Switch 2 be the one to get like Netflix and YouTube and stuff? Huh, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We will get a direct for first party games. Yeah. Yeah, we will. We will. India is pre ordered. Nice. You like the Sunshine music more than the game itself. Yeah. So, yeah. Alright. Let's do hardware sales. Very good hold. Nintendo Switch 2, the #1 best-selling console of the week in Japan, with 69,586 units sold. A very small drop from last week. Y'all notice, by the way, software was relatively weak this week. The best-selling game was like 14,000. Yeah, a new release, and then holding the fort at number 2, 12,400 to Mario Kart World, which, is half a year old. Evergreen title, but not a big software week, correct? However, even in not a big software week, check out that 69,586 for Nintendo Switch 2. A tiny drop from last week's very impressive 72,086. But then it goes all the way down. Second place, PS5, 10,949. Up a little bit from last week. Nintendo Switch in third, 10,678. Below last week's. Xbox Series with 525. PS4 with 13. Good to see, even in a relatively small, quiet software week, hardware quite good. At least hardware for Nintendo. I would say that, that 10,000 level for PS5 Nintendo Switch isn't all that hot. 17,000 was pretty cool for Nintendo Switch last week. But then again, Nintendo Switch is on the verge of turning 9. I think if it's averaging 10 to 15,000 a week, that's pretty cool. 10 to 20, 10 to 15. I would like to see it hit 15 a week, because then that would be 60 a month. And that's 180,000 per quarter. And then that 180,000 would only represent maybe 20% to 33% in total. So you're looking at a pretty good several hundred thousand Nintendo Switches sold per quarter, right? For the year, Nintendo Switch has already sold 101K in Japan alone. That's pretty impressive. Of course, Nintendo Switch 2 definitely leading the pack at 523,000. You got PS5 at 77K, Xbox Series at 1.8, PS4 at 66, which we mentioned for the heck of it. But yeah. We'll move on in a bit to what's new with Charles Martinet, but let me get to the chat again. Lao Boys, I give Nintendo Partner Direct a 5 out of 10. No surprises from Nintendo. Yeah, because today was a Partner Direct. Partner Showcase. They said it. Do not expect Nintendo first party stuff to be here. But how could you not think Turok Origins was cool, man? If you're old school N64 gamer, Turok was dope. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Indiana Jones, Fallout 4, Orbitals, Resident Evil Requiem, and the Amiibo, and Pragmata, and a demo, and Adventures of Elliot. Like, it was a really good direct. But everyone's a little bit different in how they grade. I thought it was really good. Really good. Maybe I'd give it an 8. Really, like, good is 7. Definitely above a 7. So 7.58. I mean, what should be more important are the words that are coming out of the mouth than the score. Because some people could look at 7 and say, 7, that's bad. 7 is a C minus in school. That's 1% above a D plus. But at 7 in critiquing video games, you have to say 5 is truly mediocre. 7 is halfway between 5 and 10. That's good. 3 is halfway between 5 and 1. That's bad, but not horrible, which is 1. You know what I'm saying? 10 being perfect. Yeah. Anyways. Everyone got a little bit of a different scale. But that's why you got to listen to the words. Byzantium is here. Happy PGN Live. Thank you. Great to see you here. Published 2. More game keycard releases should include a bonus like FF did. Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, I'm going to have to check out Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because if I'm not mistaken, it's $50. But right now, if you could pre-order the digital version for 20% off, that makes it $40. So you're looking at $40 for digital versus like $52 for physical with game key card. Both will be taking up the same amount of space, but you might be saving about $12 if you get it digitally. But if the physical version comes with another pack of cards that's worth like $7, then you could say, well, I'm only spending $5 more for the physical version. Okay, because you're getting cards, something like that. Yeah. It wasn't a farming sim direct. That's true. That's true. It was actually a pretty well diversified direct, in my opinion. Let's see. What else do we have? We do have some videos. Oh, if anybody would like to watch any of the videos, I'm going to put a link right here. If you want to watch any of the videos, any of the reactions, there's the link. If you feel like hyping or liking, thank you. You get a unique fan art card, though. Are you saying for 7 Rebirth you do? That's pretty cool. First concept game in 10 years. I always wanted to try the one on 3DS. Yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise, I would say, in here. Let's see. I do have pulled up, by the way, Nintendo's YouTube channel. So we could look here and see how things are doing. You've got Fallout 4. I'm looking at the views. 29,000. Indiana Jones 17. Oblivion 20. Resident Evil 32. The Sizzle Reel 20K. Console Archives at 17. Monster Hunter Stories 3 at 15. Grand Blue at 55. Man, that resonated quite well. Digimon 20. Kyoto Xanadu 26. Turok Origins 24. Pragmata 14. FF7. Rebirth at 40. Bomberman 31. I counted, by the way, this morning, if I'm not mistaken, 33 different games. 33 games in 32 minutes. Pretty good timing. Pretty good pacing. Can't complain, really. April. Teniente. Hi there. Hello. Welcome. Byzantium says, by the way, Paul, not sure if you saw my message last week or so, but it was really cool to see you on the Game Explain stream. Yes, I did see that. I remember reading that because I was like, oh, thanks. It was a lot of fun being with Andre and Nick on Game Explain, watching the Super Mario Galaxy movie direct together. Yeah, I saw that. I remember. Thanks again. Look at this. Look at this. Eat Football 9.K Hollow Knight. Whew. Getting a free update on Nintendo Switch 2. 62K. Valheim 9.5. Tokyo Scramble 12. Captain Tsubasa 8.3. Paranormosite 10. Orbitals 35. Yeah. Pretty good. It wasn't just farming sims. It wasn't just sports titles, it wasn't just first person shooters, it wasn't just fighting games, it wasn't just JRPGs, it wasn't just any one thing. It was, like I said, a pretty nice divvy of stuff. You had your JRPGs, you had your co op games, Final Fantasy VII here, and um, Orbitals over there. You got your first person shooter RPG, you got your Fallout and your Oblivion. Mm. You have your adventure game with Elliot, your different type of adventure game in a first person perspective with Indiana Jones. You have ports of old stuff, literally going back to console archives, arcade archives, Bomberman, Daemon, Doraemon, and you've got new stuff day and date, Resident Evil, Requiem, and Pragmata. New amiibo shown off, Grace and Leon S. Kennedy. Pretty cool, coming in June. Yeah, we already saw the Pro Controller too, but hey, show it off again. Build up that hype. Continue establishing Resident Evil roots in the Nintendo world, which honestly have been solid for a long time. If you think back, Resident Evil has been a part of Nintendo history for quite a while. Resident Evil 2 on Nintendo 64. Resident Evil Remake, 0, Code Veronica, 2, 3, and 4 on GameCube. 2 different Resident Evil light gun games on Wii. Resident Evil Revelations on 3DS. Revelations 1 and 2 on Wii U. All of these Resident Evils on Nintendo Switch, including cloud versions of the likes of 7, Biohazard, and remakes. And then now Nintendo Switch 2 getting, 7, 8, 9 native ports, day and date, particularly with 9. Dude, it's awesome. Continue that trend. And what Nintendo is also doing is reestablishing themselves with Final Fantasy. It used to be the go-to place was Nintendo. That went PlayStation. Then it went multi-platform. Nintendo with a little bit of the pie. And now it's like, nope. After Rebirth, when we get into FF7 Part 3, day and date. And probably the future will be like that as well. Have you played Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass? No, I haven't. I am back, and I also plugged the stream on Twitter earlier as well. Thank you, Ash. Thank you. I'm going to hop on X in a moment. Check that out. Always looking for a PGN sighting. Turok looks great. We're going back to the 90s. Yep, 96, 97. Turok looked really cool, says Game Center X. Yes. The Adventures of Elliot. That was nice. I Byzantium. I agree. Deity Contra. With console archives, it's possible we could see games from Dreamcast and other consoles, maybe? Definitely possible. I would be pretty up for either like a Sega Dreamcast or Sega Saturn compilation cartridge that has some hits on it. Or either system being officially added to Nintendo Switch Online, even if that meant a third tier. Because I feel like you eventually are giving out too much for the value that it might be time to, have another tier, but make that other tier something pretty substantial. I think you could probably add one more to expansion pack tier if you added Sega Saturn. I don't think Sega Saturn, no offense, is that big of a deal of a get. But if you dropped with it a Sega Saturn unique controller, would be pretty sweet, like they did Sega Genesis, N64, GameCube, NES, SNES, But you add Sega Dreamcast to the mix, I almost think, like I said, a third tier that would have everything before it, and also Sega Dreamcast, eventually DS, eventually 3DS, and eventually Wii. And that's where you peak. That's where you stop it. If you decide at some point to add some other things like TurboGrafx 16, you could throw that into the base tier, you know? That's okay. If you do something like Nintendo 64 disk drive games that only came out in Japan, you could add that into the expansion pack. That's all right, you know? If you do something really weird and unforeseen, like adding Xbox games, maybe you could. No, I'll take that back. I was like, maybe you could add that to expansion pack. I think too much. That goes into the new tier, you know? Hard to say. These are just some thoughts, just, spitballing, firing away some different possibilities. Nalakat, I really like how dedicated you are to your fans. For example, on every video or stream, you reply to each one of us, and I really appreciate that, and I think you deserve way more subs than you have. Well, thank you for that acknowledgement. I really appreciate it. That's nice of you to say. Something that I have done, and I never stopped, going way back to 2001 when I got hired by Gamers.com to be their E3 on the floor reporter, to bring the show back to the fans online and be a moderator in the message board forums, and to bring some kind of communication between the editors of EGM magazine and the fans, and back and forth if they weren't able to talk with one another, which usually they did, but to bring more, to put up polls on the forums and stuff like that. I'd go to E3, and every year I provided Gamers.com with the official E3 2002 Q&A. And I said how it is. You could ask me any question while I'm at the show for 3 days, and I will respond to every single person. It doesn't matter if somebody already asked it. I will answer it again, and I won't copy and paste. I will try to answer it a little bit differently, or give a little bit more information on it. Think of a different angle. Add some extra context, And sometimes I was working on that for months, because people would ask new questions for months. So I'd get home from E3, hop online, upload my photos, type out interviews that were fresh on my mind, share stories from the day, and I would get to 5 to 12 people, and I'd be batch 1. Copy the person's name, so they're tagged, hyperlink style, and then respond to their thing. Copy second person, respond. How did the new D-pad feel on this controller? Do you think you could pull off a Hadouken on this controller? What was the best booth? Who were the coolest celebrities you met? How was meeting Mr. Miyamoto? Did you talk to Minoru Arakawa? Do you think Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is going to be as big of a game as MGS2? Who had the coolest swag? What was the favorite t-shirt of yours? Etc., etc., etc. Questions after questions. And then I would hit enter after answering a batch of 5 to 12 or something like that. And then, boom, I would title it batch 1, boop, and then go into batch 2. And answer. And batch 3, batch 4, batch 30 or something like that. E3 used to take place, right? 3 days in May back in the day. And just weeks and weeks, sometimes months all summer long, of folks answering questions. So that's how glued in I've always been for 25 years now, which is wild, of doing this answering type of stuff. So the fact that you acknowledged it here makes me happy. So thank you very much. It means a lot. Now it's just a little bit different, Instead of typing as much, it truly is speaking live. And you can see it does take a little bit of energy, because you could be behind in chat, but it's okay. It's still fun. So thanks again. Morgenstern 7. Hello, sir. Will you buy Dragon Quest Reimagined? And on which support? Man, I would like to, as I mentioned yesterday and a couple other times, but I don't think I'm going to be getting it right now because I'm still going through FF7 Remake. I have to beat Ghost of Yote, and I've got to beat my precious Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which I'm just behind on. If I got gifted 7 Reimagined Dragon Quest by Square Enix, oh heck yeah, I would play it. I'd be providing my analysis. If I had a capture card and they were like, hey, can you play it on stream? Yes, but, probably not going to buy 7 Reimagine at this time. I think the issues with Sega Saturn games are licensing, says Ralph Taylor. Probably a lot of them would be. Some of them are necessary. Like, we have any Street Fighter game that came out on Sega Saturn in the Street Fighter 30th collection. We have those X-Men vs. Street Fighter games on the Marvel Capcom collection. Certain titles, though, Sega-owned titles, maybe some would be, Daytona, does it have licensed music? Maybe not. Okay. How about any of the earlier Virtual Fighter games? Sonic? Surely something could come over. Maybe it's just not worth it, but it would be cool. You're welcome, Coco. Thank you. I Byzantium. PGN is a hero of the people. Thanks, I Byzantium. The Hutch 2000. I just got here. Thank you to whomever gifted me a sub. Welcome, the Hutch 2000. I think it was either from Ash or Pokemon Fan 34. OG Gamer 777. I missed it. What was the biggest reveal today? Well, it was a combination of things. You had a big Bethesda portion that showed off Fallout 4, Indiana Jones, and Oblivion. Elder Scrolls 4 Remastered. You got this Pragmata drop today on the eShop, a demo, I should say. You got to see another look at Resident Evil Requiem, including the first look at the pair of amiibo. I would say that getting a demo today of Monster Hunter Stories 3 was pretty big. Turok Origins coming out this fall to Nintendo Switch 2. Big. Not fall. September. Right? Yeah. I would say that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming this freaking June was big. And seeing how good it looked. So, you know what? That's the thing. That's why I'm like, 8. I think I give it an 8. I think that's my number. Because there wasn't this one big blockbuster megaton, oh my gosh, third-party game exclusively built from the ground up for Nintendo Switch 2. There wasn't a Monster Hunter Rise exclusive for the system. Because that was exclusive for NS for quite a while, right? But what there was a lot of cool stuff. Like, dude, I thought Final Fantasy VII Rebirth might be coming in September. It's coming June. And it looks good. And 7 Rebirth is a more demanding game than 7 Remake. Don't forget, 7 Remake came out on PS4. Older tech. Now, Intergrade does look and operate, run better, more smoothly, look nicer on Nintendo Switch 2 than it did on PS4. But it's not exactly a new game. Rebirth is a game that's barely a couple years old on PlayStation 5. It needs some horsepower. And dude, that thing was looking slick on Nintendo Switch 2. And it's coming out this June for $50. And if you pre-order now digitally, it's only $40, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't checked myself. It's making me wonder, do I get it digital or physical? I kind of want to get it physical because there used to be this thing back in the day that PlayStation had a dig against Nintendo 64. Final Fantasy VII will never be on the competing platform. It would take 2,000 cartridges to fit this game. Whereas here, 3 discs. And there was this back and forth. Man, it was nasty. Well, years later, we got Final Fantasy VII on Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo Switch 2, Final Fantasy VII's remake. Thank you regarding the pick, Michael S. Gutmann. Hello again, says Nerdy Paul. OG gamers, so impressed with Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah. Game Center. Panasonic speakers sound cool. Wish I could try those. Oh, you're talking to Graceful Requiem? Okay, let me read Graceful Requiem's comment. I pre-ordered the Resident Evil Requiem Cross Panasonic neck speakers. Ooh. With immersive sound quality recommended by Capcom Sound Team to immerse yourself in the game. Ah, that's pretty cool. I gotta look into that. I'll probably be okay, mostly with playing on my TV, but I can't see myself playing in bed or on the couch, lights off, headphones on, getting freaked out. Like I could picture that. Something fun that I used to do back in the day when I worked at a movie theater. Let's see, I was 18, 19 years old when this happened. I forgot the movie or movies, but I did it a couple of times where I went to a late night showing of a horror movie when nobody else was there in the theater because it was out for a couple of weeks. Not a great time. It's like, who's gonna buy a ticket at 11 o'clock for this movie that's been out for 2.5 weeks, right? And I would sit there in the middle of the auditorium from left to right, from front to back, super vulnerable. Any monster could come to my right, any demon could come to my left, any ghost could come from behind. I'm only safe in front because I could see if there's any kind of creepy, crawly, nasty thing coming up at me, and watch the movie. And oh man, dude, it was kind of scary. It's all fake. It's not real. But you can't help but walk with your fists clenched like this when you're going out of the theater. Like, yeah, nothing's going to come out of the shadows and get me. It's pretty funny, though. I recommended one of my friends at the time, who ended up becoming my brother-in-law, by the way, to try that too. And I got him a ticket one time for a late night show. He did it. And he didn't know that I was going to do this, but like I went into the theater from the top, from the elevator, and then I walked down very quietly, and I went behind him, and I just sat there. I waited, and I watched him watch the movie, tense and stuff like that, and then I just waited. And while he's sitting there, I waited, right moment, and like he jumped up, he said some words. He grabbed on for his life. He was terrified. It was so good. Oh my gosh, that was so funny because I know how scary it was, dude. I was doing the same thing. But I made it worse because I snuck up and it was awesome. Anyways, I think I've told that story once before. Sometime on one of these streams in the last 6 months or something. But yeah. Funny. But anyways, back to the speakers. That's cool. You think there might be a 3-pack when they're all out? I think it might take some time, but possibly. Greek the Geek 1. Definitely an 8. Not a lot of new games, but we got a lot of dates for amazing games. Pragmata demo, Super Bomberman collection, which is getting a physical edition. Indiana Jones full-on cartridge, yeah. I must say, if there was ever a Nintendo Direct that satisfied the terminally online, I would probably have a heart attack. Exactly, you already pictured the perfect use case for it, Paul. Dragon Quest VII is awesome. This is my first time playing it. Excellent. Michael S. Powell. Zebekin 11. While I won't say it was bad, it wasn't great to me. There are definitely highlights, but for the most part, those highlights were known quantities, if that makes sense. Yeah, like, we know about Pragmata, on the one hand, but a new demo drop is cool. We knew about Monster Hunter, but a demo drop is cool. We knew about 7 Rebirth, but getting to see it for the first time, and a June release being earlier than most of us anticipated, I think, extra cool. Turok Origins, knew about existing, but not on Nintendo Switch 2. Cool. Seeing the Indiana Jones Oblivion Fallout, knowing but not seeing, cool. Knowing about the amiibo but not seeing it for the first time, cool. So there's this mixture of, yeah, like I said, nothing earth shattering that I could raise it up to like a 9.5, you know? Oh my gosh, they showed off Grand Theft Auto 6. Probably make it a 10. Injustice 3. Ooh, whoa, a 9, you know? A crossover game called, Mushroom Kingdom Warriors or Mario Warriors. And they're showing what I really want to see of Mario swinging around a chain chomp, knocking over Goombas. Oh man, that might bring it up. Because sometimes one game could make it a 10. It is possible. Now, there's never been a direct where there was nothing but snore and then one game, boom, 10. That might be a little bit different. But there's been plenty of directs where it's like, okay, some cool stuff, yeah. Whoa, okay, some cool stuff. And then a boom, a tenner. And then that really helps. Because there's never been a bad direct, you know? Back to the chat. Oh, hi, Paul. I'm definitely buying Indiana Jones now that I know it's on cart. Yes. Funny story, yeah. The direct was so awesome to see. I love the Bethesda stuff. Yeah, it was nice to see Todd Howard, too, because I just met Todd Howard a couple of months ago at the Game Awards, and it was really nice talking to him. Neat to meet him. So, cool to see him here, you know? That was fun. That was nice. Handheld Switch 2 with Requiem booted up. The speakers wrapped up around your neck, in bed or on your couch. I hide under blankets when scary things happen, then ask people to tell me what happened when it's over. FYI, for anyone interested in the new Paranormal Site game, the first one is on sale in US and UK for $5 and £4. That's a pretty good deal. I prefer sitting close to the back when I go to the movies, back row if it's available. Some good laughter. Space Butler. May the night mother wrap you in all her cold embrace. I hate sitting in the front row. Yeah, I'm not a front row looking up like this. Apparently, the speakers when starting them up will play the Ari Requiem theme song. Ah, that's cool. That's a cool sound. Did he pee his pants? Oh, Roger, I would like to say yes, but I don't remember, so I'm gonna say no. I don't think he did, but that if he did, that would be extra funny. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe, and I didn't know. I don't know. Will those speakers be around for long? That's a good question. I don't know. Playing the Pragmata demo. Didn't think I'd like it, but I might actually pick it up. Yes, I gotta download it. I'm so excited. I'm gonna download it like right when we're done. Only until sales last. Good answer. So if you want those headphones, gotta pre-order them. Kyoto Xanadu was earth-shattering enough for me, but then I am a huge fan of Tokyo Xanadu and Nihon Falcom in general. That's cool. I have to look into the regular model. Panasonic is great. Malachi Johnson. Hey there. Welcome. Greek the Geek. Oblivion has been on my wish list, so I'm glad it's arriving on Switch 2. Yeah. Using that Unreal 5 engine, right? There are going to be more and more games that come out as the generation lengthens that people are going to be like, wow, that's possible. Wow, that's possible. Oh my gosh, that. How many times are we going to see people say impossible port before you stop and saying, oh, that's the Nintendo Switch 2 version, you know? It's a very capable system. It's toe-to-toe at the basic level of describing what's toe-to-toe with the others. No, it's not as powerful as a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. Yes, it is more powerful in some regards than an Xbox Series S. Yes, it's also weaker in some areas than an Xbox Series S. Yes, Xbox Series does have FSR, but it's not the same FSR as Nintendo Switch 2's DLSS. That is a difference maker. and Nintendo Switch 2 is further optimized by having more overall newer tech. And not just like more RAM, but better quality RAM. So you can look back and forth and say, oh, the CPU is slower clock speed and and this and that. And you can compare the teraflops, and yeah, I get all that. But it's on par. It's close enough. It's trading blows. Don't forget also, Xbox Series S has been out for over 5 years. Console developers for the system have had dev kits for it for like 7.5 years. Nintendo Switch 2, maybe 2 years at most, 2.5 years at most, have developers have dev kits for it. The system, Nintendo Switch 2, 7 months. Xbox Series, 5 years, 3 months. They know how to operate better on that system than NS2. NS2, they will learn. Compare the first generation Xbox Series S games that came out in the first 7 months. Were they as impressive as they are now? Do they look better now? Are they running and performing better now? Yes. They weren't fully optimized yet back then. Developers had to learn how to work around the system, take advantage of certain things. Same thing with Nintendo Switch 2. It's still in its infancy. You think that this stuff is impressive now? You think Street Fighter 6 looks good now? Just wait till, I don't know if it's going to happen, but like, wait till Tekken 9 comes out. And then that's not, oh, yeah, Street Fighter 6 is nice, but it's 2 years old. No, it's this Tekken 9 is coming out day and date, and oh my gosh, is that comparable? Let's see. I love how Bethesda's post said, yes, it's on the cart, knowing full well that hardly anyone buys game key cards. Well, game key cards, as we saw in the fiscal report, are selling. Online chatter is negative on it, but they're still selling. The Adventures of Elliot, FF7 Rebirth, Grand Blue Fantasy, Reeling Tales of Arise. Yeah, that's another one, Tales of Arise. I love my RPGs, JRPGs, eating so well. Yeah, Tokyo Scramble might be a sleeper hit. It's Malachi. Okay, not Malachi. Malachi. I'll try to remember that. Malachi Johnson. Thank you, Malachi. The Hutch. 2000. So it would appear that they are saving the Duskbloods and maybe Elden Ring released for a general. That's what I think. Toe to toe. Why are we talking about feet? You know, that's what you got to do, Space Butler. That's what you got to do in these console face-offs. There's a lot to love in this direct, despite some of the heavy hitters and big wish list items being absent. Solid 8 out of 10. Can we see our dog? Peach is sleeping. I'll bring Peach out again. Maybe tomorrow's stream or tomorrow's podcast. She'll be back. She's always around. She's a good dog. Funny enough, 2 days ago was her 2-year anniversary with us, which is fun. As good as DLSS and FSR are, I do think it's Intel's XeSS that's the better upscaling tech. Someone should maybe do an Intel-based console. As a MSI Claw 8 owner, Intel hardware is impressive. Interesting to know. Cool opinion. I buy key cards. I'm honestly fine with them. True Nerdy Paul. You lose a little bit of the convenience of pure digital, but you do have something tangible to own, which is cool. And you have the ability to resell later, which is not bad if you think you might want to. My dog's name? Yeah, it is Peach. Malachi, good, appreciate you though. Thank you. Are you excited for Mario Tennis Fever? I'm getting more and more excited about it. I don't buy every Mario sports game. I don't know if I plan on it. I would say when I first saw it, I thought it was cool, looked good, but initial thing, probably not gonna buy it because I just know me. I don't buy every Mario sports game, but it looked more and more promising. And then hearing someone like, Roger's Base talking very positively about it made me more think, okay. I never said no. I just said, I don't think so. But that might be yeah, maybe, You're welcome. Okay. Do you think we will see a general direct in the next 30 days? I have a safe window. My safe window is February 11th through April 30th. Way, way big. 2.5 months. That's too big of a gap for most people. But I don't think we're going to have to wait till June. I don't know in the next 30 days. 30 days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, in the next 35 days, you're looking at 5 weeks, right? I think there's a good chance in the next month because I do see it being a decent possibility that we still get a direct in February. It's kind of crammed. They might want to spread it out, especially with the direct, rather the Pokemon Presents coming up. But I'm not 100% sold that a direct's happening this month, but I think there's a decent chance, So I'll go with yes. I'll go with yes to the 30-day question. Roger Soldier on Mario Tennis Fever on the podcast. Cool. Do you think February 8th will show Pokemon's next gen or the next live action movie? I don't know about February 8th, but February 27th maybe. But maybe the 8th. Let me see. What day is the 8th? The 8th is a Sunday. Could be. I could see a general direct before the end of the fiscal year. Yeah. Before March 31st. Give the investors some more hype. In which case, after March 31st, we'd get an investor fiscal report like May 4th or something. Mario Tennis Fever will be the first Nintendo game I've bought since Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's cool. Jack, did you not get Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? That's okay if you didn't. I loved it, but might not be for everyone. They tease something. They have a special video game that will start a year-long campaign. Yeah, they are going to have a celebration for this 30th anniversary. It'll be interesting to see what does Pokemon do. I hope we see Duskbloods and Elden Ring at the next direct. Yeah, I think so. My money would have also been on Borderlands 4 until they said, yeah, no longer focusing on that. Super Bowl related, yeah. I think seeing another Galaxy trailer is going to be cool. Let's go, by the way, over to the Land of X because I did say one of the things... Oh! This will be a little bit shorter. And we'll do the longer one last. And then that'll probably make our stream. By the way, did we already hit 40 likes? I think so. We did. Or we're close to it. Thank y'all. Oh, no, not quite. That's okay. We're close. We're close. I like it. 41 watching. 38 likes. Looking good. Jigglypuff should be the Super Bowl halftime show. Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff. That'd be funny. I would like that. Okay. The short news. I said yesterday the following for a reason. The reason why I said Metroid Prime 4 Beyond sold more than 1 million copies is because it did sell more than 1 million copies. It's the same reason why I said Nintendo Switch 2 passed Wii U, that Nintendo Switch 2 passed 15 million, that Nintendo Switch passed 155 million. Numbers are great. See you all for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. Because back on December 21st, I said Metroid Prime 4 Beyond hit 1 million. To be fair, I gave it a range of like 950,000 or something to like 1.2 million. I didn't have the absolutely exact number, but I was like, it's a million seller. And then right before the fiscal report dropped, I said it did more impressively. It was more impressive of a seller than Metroid Dread. in its 27 days versus its 85 days. And I did not know, are we going to get it though, in the report? So I said, what I'm saying is it did more than whatever, 875,000. People saying, what does that mean? I'm like, well, Metroid Dread did 2.74 million in 85 days. You divide that, it's 32,000 a day. You multiply that times 27, it's 870,000. Metroid Prime 4 did more than that, meaning it did more impressive for the time it was out than Metroid Dread did in the time it was out. So I said, it can't have done lower than 870 because I know something. And if you look at the December 21st thing, you know I put up something. So I came up with my range, in which my range was built off a little bit something older. So I'm like probably closer to 990 to 1.3. And if you take the difference and you split it, I'm saying like 1.2 is fair. Optimistically, I'm in the 1.2 to 1.4 range. Then we heard some other reports saying 1.5. Huh, that seems to corroborate. And then we got official word from a Nintendo spokesperson. Yes, the combined total is over 1 million. Well, who said that weeks ago? Me. Who talked about the 155? The above Wii U? The above 15? Me. When it comes to numbers, take note. Take note. Another great performance by Paul. Thank you. Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff. Personally, I'm not interested in the Metroid Prime series. I've tried a few times before, not from you. It's okay. At least you tried. I love Jigglypuff. Like a plushie. That'd be so dope if we got the General Direct soon. Yeah, new Mario game would be awesome to see. My guess is the General Direct will be held when they release the final trailer of the Mario movie. So likely at the beginning of the March, Mario Day. Then they'll show the next 3D Mario. Oh, I can't wait for a new 3D Mario. Mr. Chicken Lad, hello, hello. Is the Mario Galaxy movie going to be a part of the Winter Olympics opening ceremony tomorrow? Because I've seen a new mini trailer promoting the Olympics. Hey, I would like that. I would like that. So you think it'll be a 3 to 5 million seller at the end? Malachi? I really want it to be a 5-er. I want it to be a 7, man. I want Metroid Prime 4 Beyond to hit 7. I want it to get into new territory. I would love it to be 10, but I'm not unrealistic with I think it's going to be 10 or I think it's going to be 7. I think 7's a possibility. Maybe, long run, depending on the legs. But Metroid Prime 4, or Metroid in general, doesn't have great legs, unfortunately. But it is coming out on the early side of a console release. So it does have some early word of mouth around it of being a good looking game. Still has solid reviews. Still has some general interest. Still has some amiibo visibility. But I don't know if I could say... I can't say 7 confidently. I would like to say 5 confidently. But I'm going to reserve it to, 3.5, I think. And I would be happy if it was 3.5. Because 3.5 still means it's better than Metroid Dread 3.2, which means the series continuingly to grow in terms of sales. I don't care which one sells more. I care that the one that came out later, more recently, sells more because I want it to evolve. I don't have this grudge between Metroid Dread and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. No, I liked both a lot. I loved Dread and I loved Prime 4 Beyond. So I'm not rooting for one more than the other in those regards. Just because Prime 4 came out later, Prime 4 I wanted to do better because I want the series to progress. Got it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go with, I think 3.5 is still realistic. Robbie Rain says hi. Hi, Robbie. I just want it to get to where it needs to be for them not to abandon the franchise. Yeah, 3.5 not bad at all. No. Nintendo really has too many games now. Lego Batman, Pokemon Day, Mario Day. Yeah, they got a lot. Looking for growth. Yep. Okay. The other thing is, before we end the stream, which by the way, it's been a great conversation. We've been going for a bit.
Because
We passed the Nintendo 64 minute mark. But the last thing I wanted to say was Charles Martinet. Check him out. In the Nintendo app right now, here, I'm going to put this for the folks in the chat that have X. For the folks that have X. Yesterday, in the Nintendo app, oh, by the way, you don't need X for this. X is for my link in particular, which I'm going to pin. But you just have to have the Nintendo app to see this. Nintendo put out yesterday a 40 questions for Charles Martinet bit. And as I expressed on X, part 1 is out now with questions 1 to 10, and it is awesome. And it's asking Charles 40 questions. How tall is he? What's his favorite Mario game? Can you do the voices of Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, etc.? Super fun, really neat, and yeah, I love it. I love seeing it. If you go over on Charles's page, here it is, Charles Martinet's post from Gale Network saying, I had the great pleasure of doing a 40-question interview with my friends at Nintendo Live in Tokyo, Japan. Here is part 1. And people are loving it. 2,100 likes. I'm so happy for Charles. 32 comments, 255 requotes, 44,000 views. Good for Charles. He's fantastic. He's an excellent person, great friend, super human being. Known him for 24 years. And yeah, you don't have to have an X account. You just have to have the Nintendo Today free app. So I recommend checking out because it's neat. It's neat to see Charles talking in his wahoo, because no one does it better. Oh, Mario, have a rotten day. No one does it better. He is the man. Do you know Gaming Otter Dude? No, I don't. Have I heard of Gaming Otter? No. Metro Prime 4 didn't get a fair shake at its marketing. It could have gotten more. It had a little presentation before, several minutes. Not quite a direct mini, but it had a presentation. They had the art book come out before. They had 2 amiibo before, 1 amiibo later. They had posted it on X. They mentioned it in multiple directs. But probably could have gotten more. Yeah. I wonder what that budget really is. Was it really 100 million? More? Less? What was the development like when Retro Studios took over? I've speculated a lot over the years. But I'm glad that the game is probably around 1.4 million, 1.3 million. I just hope it continues to sell well. And Metroid will be around. The Metroid series will continue to exist. I'm not worried about that. I'm excited to be going on holiday to Japan at the end of April, and I'm hoping there's something special happening there for the month of the Mario Galaxy movie release. Can't wait. Oh, that's exciting. I hope you get to go to Super Nintendo World in Japan. That'd be cool. And Pokemon Park. That'd be pretty sweet. A moment of silence for the Nintendoomers. Man, don't doom Nintendo. Psh, Nintendo's thriving. How could anyone think otherwise? I don't know. Alrighty. That's going to do it for our stream. Second stream of the day. third stream if you count the direct. Jeez. Wow. 3 of them today. Huh. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Thanks again for being here, everybody. Big time thank you, Pokemon Fan 34, for the $10, gifting 10 new people on this channel a membership. Big thank you to Ash for the $20, gifting 20 new people on this channel a membership. We should have unlocked our new emoji. Hopefully it will appear tonight. If not, I might have to wait till tomorrow, but I don't know. It should be tonight. It said I need 26 more. That was 30. Heck yeah. Will you be on Prime's podcast tonight? So I was on Prime's podcast yesterday, and Nate ahead of time asked me, would I be on tomorrow's? And I said, yeah, probably, but I don't know if I will be able to make it tonight. So I'm going to have to confirm with him yes or no sooner than later to let him know, but I don't think so anymore. So I'm going to lean towards I don't think so. But if I can, it would be cool. It would be cool to talk again. Just I don't know if I have the time tonight. But at the very least, pop it up in chat, you know? Yeah. But all right, everybody. Big thank you all for being here. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. You are going to Super Nintendo World in Japan. Heck yeah, that's dope. That's super cool. Good for you. I'm happy to hear that. You'll have to tell us later on what it was like towards the end of April or May, you know. Yeah, good stream. Roger Enyart, thank you for the nice comments. Pokemon Fan 34, thank you again. I'll be back on tomorrow, probably Friday morning, for another PGN Live. And maybe I'll show up in Nate's stream or podcast tonight. But I'm leaning towards, I think I am busy this evening, so I don't think so. But I'll see y'all soon in some capacity. All right. Take care, though. Have a great